everybody, and welcome to another Moarhammer battle report for the Age of Sigmar. So I've had another game, quite enjoying it now. It's definitely got a lot of positives about it that I'm really enjoying. So in terms of our sort of army compositions, what I'll do for now, I'll just post up a picture of the war scrolls we'll be using. So these ones that I'm using, I'm on my NURGLE legions as always. I'm using the Herald of NURGLE war scrolls, some Plague Bearers, Plague Drones, Beasts of NURGLE, Warriors of Chaos, the Glotkin, and NURGLE Lord on Demonic Mount. That's right, I am using the Glotkin in this one. I always loved the concept of using him in fantasy, but he had the biggest flaw in the world, so I never used him. Actually, that's not true. I used him once and he got Crack's Core off on turn 1, so there you go. Here are his war scrolls. He's got an Orc Bully, a Night Goblin War Boss. It's not actually a Goblin War Boss, but the app that I used to make this doesn't have a Night Goblin War Boss. Good job, Games Workshop! Then he had Doom Diver Catapults, Night Goblin Shaman, Night Goblins, Mangler Squigs, and River Trolls. So here's a picture of deployments, and we're using a kind of the L-shaped deployment for a bit of a change, and I quite like this. It's actually quite restrictive. It's a smaller deployment zone than you might have thought, but so for me there, at the bottom middle there, I've got my Plague Drones, 3 Plague Drones, above which is 2 Beasts. Then the other side of the tower there, I've got a unit of Plague Bearers, 20 of them, and to the left of their direct left is the Herald of NURGLE. Just above them is the Glotkin, the massive son of a bitch. Well, that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to using him. To the up of him are some 3 Nurgling bases, and then some Chaos Warriors. On his side, so on his far left at the bottom, he's got a Mangler Squig. Above that, 3 Trolls, River Trolls, then a Doom Diver Catapults. In the tower, in his deployment zone, he's got a Shaman. Then he's got a unit of Night Goblin Archers, a big unit of Night Goblin Goblins, and then his War Boss is that one model in the middle. So we roll off, and I get first turn, or I finish one first. Actually, I didn't deploy my Chaos Lord on Demonic Mount because I wanted to go first. We had the same number of drops, and I really wanted to go first because I wanted to close in with that Doom Diver Catapult around. I just didn't want to get hit by that too much, especially the Glotkin. So I wanted to try and get the Mystic Shield spell off first. And that's exactly what I do first thing. So I cast that. I also tried to cast something else because the Glotkin can cast 2 spells, but I failed to cast it, and that's fine. Everything just moves up and runs as it can. The Plague Drones don't want to go into that hill because if they run on that hill, they can take dangerous terrain because it's a dangerous hill for reasons. The Beasts then run up as well, so they've got a good position so they can go either after the big blocks of Night Goblins or the Trolls or whatever comes their way. Everything else just moves up, and that's pretty much an unsubtle turn as per usual. And he'll go to his turn. His Goblins kind of just wheel around a bit, move around, fiddle with themselves a little bit. His River Trolls come forward, his Mangler Squid piles forward really far. That's fine. His Night Goblin Shaman is now in the tower, so he gets, and the tower was arcane or something, so he gets +1 to cast and dispel. And that's fine. In his shooting phase, he plinks 3 wounds off a beast with his Goblin bows. That's not too bad. And that's pretty much the end of his turn. He doesn't have any charges or anything, so we go over to my turn. And again, it's kind of the same thing again. Everything piles forward. I cast Mystic Shield on my Glotkin again, and I also cast Fleshy Abundance on my Warriors, so that gives them +1 wound, which is pretty awesome until the next hero phase. So they've got 3 wounds each now, which I'm really quite a big fan of. I also use the his command ability, which gives every model +1 attack on their melee attacks, on each of their melee attacks within 14 inches. That's a really, really strong one. I also moved my beasts up to 3 inches of the Mangler Squig. I wasn't sure how good Manglers were in this game, so I wanted to kind of test it out. I thought beasts would be a fairly good one to try. They're very sturdy things, with 6 wounds each, and they've got a pretty good damage output as well. So if they charge in, hopefully they'll do a couple of wounds to them, the Mangler Squig, and start knocking it down. I know it's kind of like a monster, so it's got the grades of how good it is. And also my Plague Drones hop over the hill, and they're kind of just going to go after the either the River Trolls or eventually the Doom Diver, hopefully. I've got no shooting that's effective, nor do I have anything else that happens, so I do my charges, and this is the only charge that happens. My plague drones go into my beasts. Sorry, go into the Mangle Squig. So I choose them to go first, and I do 1 wound. I actually roll really crap here. My D6 attacks, I rolled a 1 for both of them, but fortunately I do manage to get a wound through. And then he attacks back, and oh, it was brutal. This Mangler Squig is amazing. I was seriously impressed with how much damage it does. Oh, good God! It has something like 2d6 hit attacks that do 3 damage each. So there's potential here to do incredible amounts of damage. Brutal. Anyway, so we go to his turn over here, and movements. So in his hero phase, he casts Mystic Shield on his big block of Night Goblins, and he also uses the command ability from his War Boss, so every to wound roll of a 6 does double damage, which is potentially really nasty, especially on a massive unit like that. His River Trolls move towards my Plague Drones, and his Mangler is heading straight towards the Glotkin, and he's just going to hopefully he's going to try and do as much damage as possible there. In his shooting phase, his Doom Diver aims for the Glotkin. It misses, but it's got this weird roll thing where if you miss, you can direct into something else. Slams straight into my Herald of NURGLE and does 4 wounds to him, so he's nearly dead. That's a pretty awesome Doom Diver there. He's got another shooting, so we go into charges, and his Goblins here charge into my Warriors, and I was okay with that. His Mangler Squig, fortunately, he misses the charge distance needed to hit the Glotkin, but he does manage to hit the Plague Bearers. Now, I was more comfortable with this. I wasn't, I've got a 5-up save, re-rolling 1s for my Herald, plus I've got the 5-up disgustingly resilient pseudo ward save on them, so they're pretty sturdy, so I wasn't too fussed about that. His River Trolls also charge my Plague Drones, and that's fine. So we go into this combat first. He does 4 wounds to a Plague Drone. Unfortunately, doesn't kill one, and that's fine. Then I go over here to this one, because I want to try and kill Night Goblins first. And I do manage to kill 6 of them, which is pretty awesome. Oh, jeez. Oh, Jesus. The bloody Mangler Squig smashes 12 Plague Bearers. This thing is brutal. Really, really nasty. I have no idea how I'm going to deal with this thing. Really brutal. So he murders 12 Plague Bearers without even breaking a sweat. I don't think you even rolled that well here. So that's really a big concern. Then we go back over here. That's all his combat's done now for him, so I'm free to choose where I want to go. My Nurglings were within 3 inches, so they pile into the side of the Night Goblins and do an extra wound, and that's something. Then he piles in back with his Night Goblins, and he does kill one. He kills a warrior. They have 3 wounds, so it does do 3 wounds. But, could have been worse. Could have a floating wound on another one by now, but I don't. He does nothing to the Nurglings either, and that's fine. I go over here, I pile in with my Plague Bearers. I do a wound or 2 to it, but, so that's fine. And then I go over here with my Plague Drones, and I'm able to kill one and put a wound on another. So, at least they're taking a Battle Shock test this turn, and that's nice. I always like it when they do that. Speaking of Battle Shock, over here, his Night Goblins take one. They only got a bravery of 4, so with the 7 I killed, they're not looking too good on the Battle Shock, so they do lose another 5 or 6 Night Goblins, and I'm pretty happy with that. Over here, I rolled quite high again, but then I lost so many, it was inevitable, so I don't roll a 1, so I lose another 5 Plague Bearers, 5 or 6 Plague Bearers, and there's 2 left. So that Mangler Squig has now ploughed through a beast, 2 beasts, and essentially an entire unit of Plague Bearers. So nasty. Then we roll for turns again, and unfortunately I get it. So I do the same thing again. I cast Mystic Shield on the Glotkin, and I cast Fleshy Abundance on my Warriors. I also use the command ability for +1 attack within 14 inches. The Glotkin moves forward like this. The idea here was his war boss was about 11 inches away. So if I got a really long charge, I could smash into him and take him out. If I got a medium charge, I was within range of the Mangler Squig. If I can charge the Mangler Squig, and I'll choose to go first, then hopefully I can take him down to almost negligible wounds or kill him. That'd be ideal. But then if I really flood my charge roll, I was exactly 3 inches away from the Night Goblins, so it should be fine for me to charge them if I flood my roll. So this is something I quite like about this game. You can place... You don't have to declare who you're charging against, so you can make these sort of multiple charges possibilities depending on how well you roll, which I quite like. My Plague Bearers also decided to retreat from the Mangler Squig. To be honest with you, I don't know why I did that. There was no loss if they died, really. But I moved my Herald up to also charge the Mangler Squig because my thought was, if I charge there, I can go first again if my Glockin fails. He's pretty sturdy with the Glockin's ability. He's going to have 4 attacks, hitting and wounding on 3s, doing D3 damage and -1 rend. He could do, if I'm lucky, I can get 3 or 4, maybe 5 wounds on him, and that would take him down to not very threatening anymore. So that was my thought. Fingers crossed. My shooting is negligible. My Glockin's weird vomit attack does nothing, and my Plague Drones do nothing. So we're going to charges. My Herald hits here. And my Glockin, I totally break on my plan. I roll a high charge, not high enough to reach the War Boss, but certainly high enough to meet the Mangler Squig. But I decide not to charge the Mangler Squig because I figure, you know what, my Herald's probably got this. I'll just make sure I attack there first, strip a whole bunch of wounds off, and it'll make the Mangler Squig a whole lot less devastating. And that was the theory. So I decided to charge into the back of the Night Goblins because I decided, given that I saw how much damage the Battle Shock did to them, so if I can do shitloads of damage with the Glockin and my Warriors and my Nurglings to the Night Goblins, I might be able to pop them, the entire unit, in 1 or 2 turns before my opponent realises he should cast, he should use the Inspiring Presence command ability. So there you go. So we go into combat, and like I said, I choose this one first, and I fuck my rolls up. I don't think I wound him once. I maybe wound him once, but it doesn't go very well at all. So he's fucked. Over here, he goes over here next, and he's able to kill an entire Plague Drone, just smashes it into the ground, and that's sad. I go over here next with my Glockin, and he rolls terribly. He just kills 4 goblins, and he's the Glockin. He should kill more than 4 goblins. Look at him! Look at him! He's massive. Oh well. Then he goes with these guys next. They all pile in around. They're able to do a wound to a warrior, but they're not able to do anything to the Glockin. I go with my Nurglings next, and they're able to do nothing. And next he comes over here, and splat. Yeah, has no problem in merging. I think he rolls a double 6 for his number of attacks on his ball and chain. It was pretty brutal, so yeah, I shouldn't have charged there. It was probably a bit of a stupid idea. At least without the Glockin, you know. So yeah, I kind of look at that Herald lying on the floor, and I can just see his little mouth going, "You wanker." So yeah, that was a mistake. I go over here next, and I'm able to do another 2 wounds to a troll, I think. Yeah, 2 wounds to a troll, which is fine. They're not taking Battle Shock again, which is a bit shit, but I can live with that. Then we go over here, and my Warriors attack. They kill a couple more, 4 or 5 more, which is pretty good. I'm liking this +1 attack command ability from the Glockin. It's really, really strong. So yeah, I kill another bunch, and then Battle Shock kills a bunch more. So he's really losing numbers now. So he's down to a very, very few. So I don't think at this point even Inspiring Presence would have helped him. He's probably going to get killed in a round or 2 just from attacks. So we go over to his turn, and his Mangler Squig moves up towards the Glockin. He's coming for blood. His War Boss moves up as well. He's going to try and charge the Glockin because reasons. His archers also kind of wheel around a little bit to try and get some better shots at them. So in the shooting phase, his archers do shoot at the Glockin, and they don't do anything because he's the Glockin. So we go. Oh, and also in the shooting phase, his trolls vomit on my Plague Drones, and they kill one. And so they do the last wound to one and put 2 wounds on another. But if you remember from previous fantasy battle reports, this lone plague drone is the one with the banner, so you know what's going to happen next. So in his charging phase, his Mangler hits my Glotkin, no problem. His Warboss does fail the charge. I think he wants to just stick out of this one for a second. So obviously he goes to fight with his Mangler Squig first. He doesn't want to die, and holy shit, he does 14 wounds to the Glotkin. 14! If I didn't have the Mystic Shield spell cast on me, he'd be dead. That is how good Mangler Squigs are. Holy shit. Absolutely incredible. If any Orc and Goblin player doesn't take Mangler Squigs, take two. Just take two. They're so good. And so difficult to deal with. Unless you've got masses and masses of shooting, in which case you'd probably be fine. But I don't have masses and masses of shooting, so I'm not fine. And then the Glotkin just takes a fucking massive dick slap in the face. So then I decide to go over here next, before my last plague drone dies, and I kill a troll and put 2 wounds in another. So he's starting to flip out a bit now. Then he goes over here with his goblins, and he's able to kill a warrior. Not too concerned about that. They don't have fleshy abundance on them anymore, so they're a bit easier to kill. So yeah, does 2 wounds to warriors. And he also does a wound to the Nurglings, but that's negligible because I'll heal the wounds at the end of the phase now. He can't do any more wounds to them. Then I go over here with my warriors, and I'm able to kill 4 goblins, which is a bit of a shit roll, but I'll take it. Then he goes over here with his troll, and he totally whiffs his attack. He does nothing to me, so that's awesome. Then my Nurglings go. 2 of them pile in to attack the Mangler Squig, and 1 just attacks the goblins. Either way, they do nothing. Actually, no, I think my Nurglings do a wound on the Mangler Squig, because they're awesome. They bite its toes or something. Or clog its chains up with pus. Yeah. Cool. Then it's my Glotkin's turn, and he turns around and smashes the Mangler Squig straight in its stupid face, and puts it down to 1 wound. Doesn't kill it, unfortunately, but he puts it down to 1 wound, and that's fine. Then we go to Battle Shock, and his troll runs away. That's right, he pisses off. He's had enough. But not only that, I lost the plague drone to the shooting phase, so I roll my dice, and boom! I get 2 plague drones back. I roll a 1. There it is. You can see the dice there. And because it's the banner left, if you roll a 1, you get D3 plague drones back, and I got 2 back. So they're back to nearly full strength now, and that's just so awesome. So good. So we roll off the first turn again, and I get it, and the first thing I do is my Glotkin uses Arcane Missile and shoots off that stupid Mangler Squig, and that's awesome. I'm so happy to have that dealt with. Then not only that, I cast Mystic Shield on myself again. I do fail to cast Fleshy Abundance. No, sorry, I didn't try because I cast Arcane Missile, my mistake. And then I heal 3 wounds, because the Glotkin heals D3 wounds every hero phase, which is such an awesome ability now that I think about it. So yeah, we go into my movement phase, and my Plague Bearers start moving up to get into the fight again. My Plague Drones move up as far as possible, plus a run move to get to the Doom Diver. So we've got no more... my shooting does nothing. We go to combat. The Glotkin slams apart a bunch of Night Goblins, and that's cool. And then he piles in around the Glotkin to make his attacks. He actually does a wound to me, which isn't too bad for a handful of goblins, but there you go. And then after that, my Chaos Warriors pile in like this, and they hack every single last goblin to pieces, and that's just awesome. So happy with that. So they're all dead. Even though there's no consolidation move, I just turn the Glotkin around to face that poor war boss, who's now looking a bit dejected after seeing essentially his army be eaten by a massive NURGLE piece of shit. What literal shit. Yeah. Then we go over here, and this is his turn. He moves his Night Goblin war boss within 3 inches of the Glocken to charge. I think it's just a Hail Mary. He knows he's lacking wounds now, I think, so he's just trying to get it before it heals anymore. The archers move up again to shoot the Glocken. His Warboss used the command ability on the Night Goblins to use to any wounds of a 6 do double damage. I think that was his hope. Yeah, and his Doomdiver kind of turns to face the Plague Drones. And the shooting phase, his bows shoot at the Glocken, but don't do anything. Then his Warboss charges the Glocken, and here's a nice picture just to see, for scale, just think about the scale of this picture. The Lamprey Maw on the Glocken is bigger than the Warboss. The horn on the side of his head is bigger than the Warboss. So yeah, it pretty much goes about as well for the Warboss as you might have thought. He doesn't do anything to the Glocken and just gets annihilated back. Yep, so then we roll off the turns again, and I get it again, fortunately. And I heal 3 wounds. Again. So the Glocken's now recovered 6 of the wounds that the Mangler did to him, and that's pretty nice. Everything moves forward, the Plague Drones move up to the Doomdiver, the Glocken moves towards the archers, as does everything else. I kind of do my standard casts here. I try to cast a bunch of things. Mystic Shield, Fleshy Abundance, whatever. And I use the command ability on the Glocken. I go into the shooting phase, and I'm able to... My Death's Heads, I throw Death's Heads at the Goblins and kill 2 of the crew. That's pretty sweet. So we go into the assault phase. The Glocken over here charges the Goblins. Everything else fails to charge. And my Plague Drones charge the Doomdiver, of course. Over here, the first thing that happens is... the Plague Drones attack. They kill one more crew member and do a wound or 2 to the Doomdiver itself, the catapult itself. Over here, he attacks here first, but the impact hits are done first. So this one Goblin that died is from the impact, the essential impact hits of the Glocken. So he piles in around me, and he does absolutely nothing because they're Goblins. And then I smash apart, 11 of them. Which is just a spectacular show. Yep, so he piles in here, but doesn't do anything to my Plague Drones. They're invincible. So we go straight into Battle Shock. His Catapult doesn't fail any Battle Shock tests. But these guys most certainly do. They roll really high, 6 maybe. So with the 6 plus the 11 wounds, they all just flee very, very much away. So that's awesome. Really happy to see the Glocken just plough through an entire unit like that. Even if they are just Goblins, still an entire unit. So there I am. We go over to his turn. So this is the Shaman just moves up to 3 inches of the Glocken. He's going to charge, because why not? He does try to cast something, but I think either he fails or I dispel it. In the shooting phase, his Doomdiver, point blank range, releases a Goblin straight into the face of one of these, this Plague Drone, smashes them to pieces. Quite cool. So yep, we got the charges. His Shaman charges the Glocken, and that's it. So we go over here first. He doesn't do anything to me. But it's kind of the same situation with the Warboss. He doesn't do anything to me, but I go over here first to attack next. I'm able to kill the last crew member and do 2 wounds to the Bully Boy, and that's fine. He attacks back and does nothing to me. Oh, actually no, I think he does a wound to me. That's fine. So we go back over to here. The Glocken raises up his foot and steps on the Goblin Warboss, making a green paste that is quite palatable. And there you have it. There's the end of the game. Quite a convincing victory for the Legions of NURGLE again. Even though I did lose a lot, it was almost entirely to the Mangler Squig. That Mangler Squig is absolutely insane. I would encourage any Orc and Goblin player to go out and buy one, because they're just so good. Other than that, pretty good game. I really liked how this played out in this deployment zone. It felt a lot of people have a problem with this game insofar that it seems like you push 2 sides together into a big smush in the middle. That's really not how it goes. if you play this game like fantasy was played, that's what happens. But if you play this game not like fantasy is played, it doesn't happen like that, as this game kind of demonstrates. There's quite a few, sort of movement things going on, and where things were placed, like the Glockin was really key for his command abilities and stuff. Speaking of the Glockin, holy shit. just even without his combat ability, just his spells and command ability is absolutely insane. Such a good... I'm struggling to think of things that would really benefit from the Glockin's command ability, because if I can get the thing that would benefit the most out of it, I want to start using that and use him as a tag team, because he gets a lot from it himself, to be honest, because when he uses it, not only does everything within 14 inches get it, but he gets it too. So, really pleased with that. Yeah, the plague drones doing pretty well still. I think I need to get some more plague drones. I'm really liking how they work. They're really resilient with that sort of the pseudo 5-up ward save. And yeah, they're just doing well. Chaos Warriors, they're okay. They've got 2 wounds, yeah, but they just don't do that much damage. And having they get the 5-up ward against mortal wounds, but the shield doesn't really help them all that much. I'd rather get like a +1 ward save to them. When you get Fleshy Abundance, the spell from the Glockin off on them, they get 3 wounds each, and with the command ability they get 3 attacks each as well. So they start becoming kind of mini characters each, and that is awesome. Again, Nurglings, meh. They're hard to kill, but they don't really do anything. They didn't need to tie anything up this game, so they kind of just didn't do anything. So I might think about replacing them with something else, just to try them out. I'm glad that I decided to not deploy my Chaos Lord on demonic mounts, because going first turned out to be quite useful, and I'm not sure how good he would have done in the end, because the Glockin did a lot of damage anyway. So yeah, there you go, there you have it, end of the game. Please feel free to leave any feedback you may have. I'm enjoying these games of Age of Sigmar now. There will be more of them, as there will be more 40k battle reports. So yeah, keep tuning in for more carnage for NURGLE. Thanks very much. Cheers.